Hello everyone, and welcome to another Drillstevejr Jr. review. Today we're going to be taking a look at well, I don't know if there's a specific name for this toy line because, well, it's sort of a modern version of a character, but they still have some details like they were the original G1 versions, and they also come in the basically an upscaled version of the original G1 card, and they're only doing it in mini bots. And this line is Walmart exclusive, so I don't know what these are specifically called, so I'm just gonna call them the Walmart exclusive G1, but also not G1 mini bots. But it is a very nice card. You see, you got the original artwork, and you got a render of the vehicle mode of this version of the toy, not the original. And then flipping it on to the back, you have that not original, because this is the 1985 version. You got the battle scene with, Shockwave is right there. Grimlock is trying to eat Kickback's foot or leg or arm or whatever you would call that. You got the miscolored version of Trax right there, which would eventually go on to be a separate character. Down here you got your tech specs and your bio. Pause if you want to take a look at like the specifics of the tech specs, but I might as well read the bio here because it's very short. Function: Gunner. Rules are detours on the road of life. Thinks going by the book is going the long way. Doesn't follow plans or roads. So I guess he's a bit of a rebel or daredevil or whatever, at least as far as those tech specs go, because I don't think there's ever been a version of Outback that has really reflected that bio in any media. Maybe like the comics or something, but I don't really read too many comics. I more so just stick to the shows. Anyway, so here is Outback in his vehicle mode, and starting off, we have this very nice detail, which they didn't need to include, which is the little Micronauts M on the front, because, in case you don't know, the original toys of Huffer, Brawn, Gears, and Windcharger were part of a line called Micronauts, and then they got bought up by Takara, and then they got imported by Hasbro, and during all of that back and forth tossing, they didn't get rid of the M molded into the Brawn and Gears toys. And even when they remolded Brawn and Gears into Outback and Swerve respectively, they still didn't get rid of the M. In fact, spoiler alert, I have the reissue of I have the reissue of Swerve right here. I forgot his name for a second for some reason. I have the reissue of Swerve right here, and it's still there. The M is still there, so it's a cute little detail, which they didn't need to include, especially since it's not molded on this one. It's just painted, but it's still a very nice detail, and I really do like it. On the front, we have the grill and some lights right here. These lights are pinked out in silver, just like the grill itself, but these lights aren't, and the bumper is picked out in brown until you get to the sides, so it's kind of a weird looking front, especially since these sides are sort of put down a bit more, so, yeah, it's a little weird looking, but then again, Transformers tends to be a bit weird sometimes, especially in, like, the early 2000s, not that there's anything wrong with that. I absolutely love Transformers Cybertron. It's one of my favorite shows of all time. So then you have the windows are picked out in paint, which is a very nice detail. And they even molded in little window wipers on both the front and the back, which is something they really did not have to do, but I appreciate it nonetheless. Just needed to clear my throat for a second. Anyway, you got an Autobot logo right there, which is, again, a nice detail. Then up top you have the tire, the spare tire anyway, which is actually removable. And, you know, you could give it to someone else because this is a 5mm port. So that's something they didn't need to do, but I appreciated. Personally, I like leaving the tire on because it looks a little naked and weird without the spare tire on the top. Because this is kind of a sorta off-road SUV sort of deal. And that's supported by the fact that there's a molded-in approximation of what's supposed to be like, I don't know, a spare tank of gas. So yeah, the wheels are pretty nice. They are black plastic and they're picked out in silver. They are pinned wheels, and I know they are pegged on wheels, and I know some people don't like that, but I've never really had too much of an issue with them, like specifically. I mean, there was a Combiner Wars figure which had one of his wheels break off, but that was like over a decade ago, so yeah. I'm not one to really hold grudges. There is one problem, and that's the fact that on my copy, some of the silver paint got on this wheel, but I don't really care about it too much. And as you can see, there's the head and the torso and the thighs, so you can see quite a bit down there, so just don't look at the bottom. Anyway, I think that's pretty much oh, wait, right, it rolls. It rolls pretty well. Not the best roller on the planet or anything, but it does roll quite decently. Now on to size comparisons. First up, we have G2 Breakdown. So you can kind of see how he scales with like a more standard size deluxe. So you can see, you know, this guy's a bit more smaller, but also just more compact in general. And he's also, you know, taller. So, yeah. An SUV compared to a Countach. Next up we have what I would consider to be like the closest in terms of like vehicle mode between Transformers, movie Ratchet. This is the Dark of the Moon repaint of the Studio Series figure, which was a repaint of the Dark of the Moon figure. So it's sort of, this is a triple repaint. But yeah, they both have the spare tire on the front, except for that, you know, this one's an ambulance and this one's just kind of an off-road SUV. But, you know, the similarities are kind of there, so I figured I'd do the comparison. Oh my goodness. I think I just had something in my throat or something. I don't know why I coughed so dramatically. Next up, we have Optimus Prime. This is the Earthrise mold. So you can kind of see how he scales with a kinda leader class. I know, a kinda Voyager class. I mean, he is basically a Voyager class, which came with a trailer, which made him a leader. I would like to get the Commander class someday, but not today. Because I am broke right now. Next up we have the G1 reissue of Swerve, because I do not have I never got the G1 reissue of Outback, even though I'm pretty sure the Swerve reissue and the Outback reissue were sold at the same time. So you can kind of see how that compares up. And next we have, for comparisons, we have a Disney Pixar car, and I'm going to have to hold him in place because he wants to roll off the table, which isn't very nice. Next up, we have a Hot Wheel. What if we do it? There we go. We have a standard Hot Wheel. So you can kind of get a feel for that. And we're not done with Hot Wheels because here is the Batman Forever Batmobile Hot Wheel. I'm Batman. And speaking of Batman, here he is with a Lego minifigure. And I think the scale kind of works. So if you're like me and you like using human, like approximating human characters as minifigures, and you care about scale, I'd say that this is relatively in scale. Kinda. I don't know. You be the judge of that. And, yeah, that's pretty much it for vehicle mode size comparisons. So, let's get into transformation here. Oh, I almost forgot. He comes with an accessory, which is this little cannon, which is basically like a modernly molded version of the cannon he came with in his original toy. Because, fun fact, Outback was like the only mini-bot to actually get a gun. Except for the gun was only usable in a vehicle mode. But, you know, you can do what you do with the G1 toy and put the gun on top. So you can shoot people while driving. That seems very irresponsible. But, yeah. We'll tackle the gun more when we get to robot mode, which... Now let's get into robot mode. Now the first thing you want to do is untap the sides here and basically unfurl them, but do not tab them in just quite yet. Like that. Sort of leave them like that. Then you want to take the back section, flip up this, and then take the back section and flip it up like that. And that will reveal the arms. And you want to get them out of there. And then you want to flip down the legs, and that tab will plug in here. And same thing with these connections. So it double tabs. That's why I said don't tab it in quite yet. Unfurl the feet. Do literally the exact same thing on the other side. Just need to clear my throat again. I don't know what is going on with my throat today. Flip the chest and the head down so that you can flip this section around and bring it back up. There's a little peg that will rest with this hole, so when you get the arms in, you can line it up because the arms are on this armature, and then you can adjust the arms accordingly, then flip the waist around, and then kind of just push the backpack up, and hopefully I explained that well. Here he is in his robot mode, and I think his robot mode looks pretty good. It's not like the best robot mode ever, but I think it serves well for the character. Let's get in close here. You can see the chest and the head. That's like the only new detail that got revealed. I mean, there is some like general panel lines in like the arms and the thighs and the shoulders, but like this is like the main detail. His head is in this brown area, like the original toy, and when you turn the head, it sort of goes along with it, and when you turn the head like that, it kind of looks like, you know, a pharaoh kind of headdress, so I guess he's the king of Egypt now. Oh, goodness. Anyway, you can also, you know, give him his gun so he can shoot people, and pretty sure this gun is effect part compatible. Do I have any effect parts on hand? Alright, I do have an effect part on hand. And, yeah, it can shoot it. And since one works, all of them will pretty much work, unless it's specifically, you know, for like the Matrix or something of that nature. Or if it's like an effect part that plugs into the 5mm port of a gun rather than the little tip on the end of a gun. I don't think he really has any other effect port areas, but that's fine. The gun works, which is good enough for, like, you know, general use. So, yeah. Let's get into size comparisons. First off, we have... Might as well bring back in the... If he will actually stand, the G1 reissue of Swerve. And I think they look pretty good together. I wonder if we are actually going to get a Swerve in this line next. That would actually be quite cool, because Swerve is a pretty cool character from what I've heard of the comics. Next up, we have another figure I bought around the same time, Blast Off, who may or may not get a review soon, so yeah, stay tuned if you're excited for Blast Off. Here he is with... And stuff just fell over. Here he is with Legacy Chase, which is, I would say, around the standard for deluxe height. So yeah, you can see he is shorter than like a standard deluxe, but it's not by much. It's not as like drastic as like the vehicle mode comparison. Next up, we have more of a deluxe, I like to call it, which is like, you know, a bigger than standard deluxe, but he's not quite Voyager height yet. I think I might need a drink of water after this video. You know, here he is with Needle Nose. Here he is with a Voyager, Cybertron Starscream, before he, well, obviously before Cybertron Starscream becomes absolutely massive and tries to fight God. Here he is with a leader class, Grimlock. This is the G2 version because, I don't know, I decided to get the G2 version over the standard because I like the blue, okay? And here he is with his kinda partner. I'm pretty sure these were in 2 separate waves because I got this guy in like near the tail end of 2025. And this guy didn't start showing up in my Walmarts until 2026. So, here they are. Here he is with another modern mini-bot, Kingdom Huffer. I don't have gears, sorry, or Wind Charger. But I do have Bumblebee. The Studio Series Bumblebee, which you guys probably see everywhere. Actually, no, I think he's been sort of phased out for the Transformers 1 Deluxe Bumblebee. And, you know what, let's get a little bit of a group shot with these. You know? There's sort of the mini-bot family, at least the ones that I own. You know what, for shits and giggles, let's throw in a little Wasp from Transformers Animated. Because he's around the same size despite, you know, being from a completely different continuity. And let's compare him to a minifigure again, so you can see how he stacks up to a minifigure in robot mode. And next up, we have ourselves a little one of these 2-inch style Pokemon figures, because why not? Next up, we have an Epic Heroes series figure, Cyclops. And here he is with a 3 3/4 inch figure. Come on, stand, buddy. I am Steve. And I forgot to compare this in vehicle mode, and I don't feel like going back all the way for vehicle mode. So here he is with my last review. Oh, goodness. And now it's time for the main trilogy of comparisons, if you're familiar with my reviews. Here he is with Barry, the Baryonyx. Good boy. You're a very good boy, Barry. Next up, I have to reach a bit for this. Galaxy Upgrade Optimus Prime. Damn straight. Now, you may have noticed I normally do the Jazzwares, the McFarlane Uraka, right? Well, I have a bit of a exciting news drop here. I actually got the SH Figuarts Uraka. And this figure is awesome. I don't know if she'll get a review or not, because I mainly do Transformers and Lego sets. So I don't really know how I would tackle doing a standard figure. But yeah, I'm very happy that I have this figure now. So yeah, the McFarlane version is getting phased out for these comparisons and getting replaced with the SH Figuarts version. So be excited for that. And while I was doing comparisons, I forgot to show off the articulation fully. His head can turn, but it gets kind of in the way of that. His arm can move a full 360. It's on a ball joint. Elbow can move up. Wrist can kind of move inward for the transformation. Bicep swivel. Legs can kick forward that far. Back that far. Bicep swivel. Which one's the bicep? Thigh swivel. And a knee bend. And then the toes can kind of move inward for transformation. So not that posable, but it's not bad. And yes, I know I'm supposed to do that before the size comparison. I just got a bit too excited with some of the characters I wanted to show off for the size comparison. Anyway, so would I recommend this figure? I mean, if you're interested in getting him, I don't see why not. But like, if you're not like a diehard mini-bot enjoyer, or you don't really like Outback as a character or whatever, you can easily skip this. But if you're like a hardcore Transformers fan, or you're just a casual collector like me, and you saw this guy and you thought that would be a nice addition to my collection, or like that'd be a nice addition to like my army of Autobots or whatever, then I'd say he's worth it. I'm going to ignore the price because he's standard deluxe price. So regardless of how you feel about standard deluxe price, if you have the money for a deluxe and you like this dude's vibe, then you could probably pick him up and enjoy him. So, yeah, that's all I have to say. This is Drillstevejr Jr. signing off, and I'll see you in the next video, whenever that is.